So the Mario movie has just been released, and a lot of people are hyped and excited and going to theaters and getting their special little popcorn boxes and whatnot. And it just seems like an overall fun time for the most part, even though there is some other things to talk about regarding the Mario movie and its reception. But overall, it seems like people seem to be enjoying the movie, despite some harshness from critics. And that brings up the point of, is the Mario movie comparable to the Sonic movie? And which movie is better and which movie has a better reception? So there's been tons and tons of debates online about which movie is going to end up being better, whether it's going to be the Sonic movie or the Mario movie, because as you know, the Sonic and Mario rivalry goes back to the 90s, during when Sega was making the Sega Genesis, and Sonic was coming out and obviously rivaling Mario, and people liked Sonic a lot back then, and now things changed after the Dreamcast failed. But it was a pretty big deal back in the day, but now they're kind of competing again in a different way in terms of video game movies. There's been a lot of video game adaptations over the years, whether it's been Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, Mortal Kombat. All these kinds of movies have come out in the last few years. And of course, Sonic came out with a movie 3 years ago now, and also in 2022. But before we get into more of it, hey, hold up a minute. 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so why don't you consider subscribing if you've been enjoying the content? You may be like, hey, this might be too early in the video, but 43,000 of you guys keep coming back to these videos, so I'm talking to you. Why don't you hit the subscribe button? Thanks, guys. But people were really excited to see the Sonic movie too, and people loved it, and Nintendo fans loved it as well, and of course Sonic fans loved it. It may not be the exact way that Sonic is in the games, at least in my opinion. It's not really how I'd want Sonic to be like, because he's more childlike in the movies, but it still ended up working out anyways, and was a overall just great thing to have for this franchise, in my opinion. And overall, I think people just enjoyed it. But the announcement of the Mario movie was rocky, because the announcement of who would be voicing the characters was very odd and almost memeable, and just had people thinking, is this movie gonna be any good? But then the first trailer arrives, and the movie looks amazing, honestly. The graphics and just visual style of the Mario movie is amazing, and is colorful and vibrant, and the world is just vast looking, and the Mushroom Kingdom just looks amazing in the movie. Then people started thinking, dang, this is what the Sonic movie should have been. Should have been a fully animated movie, and it should have had all of these bells and whistles. And honestly, I agree. I do think the Sonic movie should have been fully animated like Sonic Unleashed's opening, but I'd rather have that be done by Mars Studios than something like Illumination, if I'm being honest. But that isn't what we got, and I still enjoyed the format of the Sonic movie being a live action but slash CGI movie. The first movie, it's okay. It's just another road trip animal movie, I guess, kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks or Hop or even the Smurfs. I'm not really the biggest fans of those kinds of movies, but the Sonic movie is a lot simpler, and it was Sonic, so I think I accepted it a bit more. But Sonic movie 2 was pretty fire, I can't lie. That movie actually felt like a Sonic movie. It felt more in line with games. It's still very much, Sonic's still childlike in a way, but I still very much enjoyed the movie because it felt like they put things from the actual Sonic that I liked into the movie. Now that the Mario movie is out, it actually didn't come out to the reactions I expected. The Rotten Tomato critic score is actually pretty low from what I expected. It has a 53%. Which is quite a bit decent lower than the Sonic movie, which I think is 16% lower than Sonic movie 2, and about 11% lower than Sonic movie 1. And that's not the biggest deal in the world because of the audience score. But the audience score for Mario movie is 90%, but at this current moment, there's only a little over 1,000 reviews, whereas the other movies have thousands of reviews. So that score could very much change and go up or down for the Mario movie, and most likely down as more people see the movie. But the critics actually enjoyed the Sonic movie a lot more than the Mario movie, which is quite surprising if I'm being honest, because everyone likes to give Sonic a hard time. So for once, people are like, the Sonic movie was better. We enjoyed the Sonic movie more than the Mario movie, because yeah, a lot of the main criticisms with the Mario movie is the plot being pretty light and just a super fast pacing, and some people were saying it's kind of unfunny, some people think it's funny. So that's where the criticisms kind of lie, that just the plot is pretty light. But as you guys know, Mario games are never usually heavy on plot unless it's the RP spin-off games, so the plot is usually extremely light. So if you're a Nintendo fan or Mario fan, you're coming into the movie, that's kind of to be expected. You're kind of just here for the spectacle of it all in movie format. But that isn't going to work for everybody going out to see this movie that want to see a movie and not a theme park ride of a Nintendo game. But that's the perspective of people who don't play video games. As it is a video game movie, I still think it should try its best to appeal to both audiences, but those are just some of the criticisms that people have mentioned. Something I feel like the Sonic movie does well is that it's a movie first rather than a video game movie, I feel like. Yeah, there's references to the games and whatnot, but it's very much storytelling focused and character focused. But I'm not surprised in the slightest, that the Mario movie is as light on plot as people say, because Shigeru Miyamoto is involved as a producer. He does not like a lot of plot in Mario. He actively tried to fight against the plot in Mario Galaxy to minimize it as much as possible, because he does not like heavy plot for Mario game. And I assume it's probably the same for the movie, which is why the pacing is probably as fast as it is and as light on story. But that's something that's pretty funny about Mario vs. Sonic, period, is that Sonic has always had a heavier story than Mario games, and that's been its key suit for quite a few years, even though the stories aren't always good. But that's just something that was more unique about that platformer compared to other platformers, is that Sonic had a bit more story, especially in the 3D era. And I think the movie does that well by including lore, especially in Sonic Movie 2. They include a lot of lore and stuff that people actually like from the games, and it kind of enhances the plot. So Sonic Movie 1 and 2 may be higher rated than the Mario movie on Rotten Tomatoes by critics, but they have the same audience score, and like I said, it may change a little bit for the Mario movie, but probably not by much. I think people are going to enjoy these movies both equally, and I think it's just a crazy time that we live in where we can have a Sonic and Mario movie these days at all. I think that's something to be hyped about in general, and I don't really think it matters which one is better, because which one is better is totally and completely subjective to you. You can like the Mario movie more, or you can like the Sonic movie more, or you can even like them equally. I don't see why they can't coexist. There's no reason for them to. And one thing that's pretty annoying are the people on Twitter that just want to trash on everything immediately, or just say Sonic sweep or Mario sweep, or even the Sonic fans that just clown on the series nonstop and just want to see Sonic lose. Like the moment the first Mario movie trailer came out, someone was like, yeah, the Sonic movie's over with, it's done. Like, why are you thinking like that? They're just movies at the end of the day. They have nothing to do with each other except one's Sonic, one's Mario. You can like both of them. People are sitting over here expecting the Mario movie to decimate the Sonic movie in terms of reviews and reception, and then are confused why Sonic fans say Sonic sweep when Sonic's in the lead. Like, you have to think about that. But again, I like Nintendo stuff almost just as much as Mario. Metroid is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Smash Brothers, I played Smash competitively. And no, I did not play Sonic. I played Wolf and Pokemon Trainer for a little bit. And I was a Smash Bros channel before a Sonic channel again, if you guys didn't know, a few years ago. So I love Nintendo and I love Sonic, and I just think that both of these things are cool movies, and it's really cool that we both have these in current day. Because as a kid, I dreamed of a Sonic movie and Mario movie, but now here I am, and I'm an adult, and it's pretty cool seeing this stuff, and now kids get to grow up with this stuff. I think it's overall pretty cool, and I think both movies are probably enjoyable to whoever enjoys them. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Mario vs. Sonic movie. There is no versus. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Well, whatever happens, happens.